We are on the verge of a revolution that could surpass anything we've seen from All Elite Wrestling as we come to you out of nowhere in this special AEWSpark Reignited anniversary episode. Hello, everybody, whether in the morning, night, evening, you name it, whether on live or on demand. I thank you all for tuning in. My name is Noah Foster, and I'm just a simple man. And welcome once again to the platform that is about all things, all elite wrestling that I've created called AEWSpark. And this is officially my 1 year anniversary since starting this series. And I couldn't think of a better guest to be with. He is leader, founder, creator of Team All Elite, one of my closest friends and brothers in all things wrestling. Please simply welcome my brother, Mark the Griff Reviews, the All Elite Hitman. Mark, how are you? Congratulations on all the success with Team All Elite reaching 1,000 members. It's great to see you.
Absolutely, man. I'm glad to be on the anniversary show, man. I'd like to say that I've watched probably 75% of every Spark there is. At least a good 20 minutes of it, at least, if not the whole show. And today we hit 1,000 for Team All Elite. So what we're doing is we're going to do a drawing. Everybody on Team All Elite, we're going to put your name on the wheel. We're going to spin it, and the winner will get their own AEW, but not the real thing, obviously, but it's the one that you see in Walmart all the time. But yeah, man, I'm happy to be on the show and ready to pick some matches.
All right. Well, hey, that's a great contest. And again, congrats. Now we're on the road to 2,000. And just so people are clear, the real AEW titles, they aren't even in existence yet. They're somewhere still in China, BMS2s. I guarantee you I will be getting one of those. And then we'll truly see who's all elite. With that being said, I'm pumped. I'm hyped. I cannot be more excited. We have a hell of a preview ahead of us. Let's go ahead and get right into the discussion, as this anniversary episode of AEWSpark will be dedicated primarily to the AEW pay-per-view Revolution. And it all comes ahead Sunday via the BR Live app or Fight TV app if you are in the UK. Live on pay-per-view March 7th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with a buy-in beforehand that has quite an interesting tag team match with a lot of backstory to it, considering it really falls after the events that have occurred now that the AEW Women's Eliminator Tournament has officially completed and we have our winner. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the buy-in match. As the buy-in match will showcase 4 of AEW's most promising women talents we've been able to see for this product. Thunder Rosa and Riho, who might I add have one of the best matches of this tournament facing each other, where Thunder Rosa did surpass Riho, which I'm sure surprised a ton of people. They take on the duo of Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, don't forget it, and her partner, Rebel, not Reba. Someone fix that graphic. And of course, Dr. Britt Baker, she lost in this tournament in an incredible match against Nyla Rose, where it came down to just not being able to sink in the lockjaw. And even Rebel sacrificed herself to try and give the Doctor the victory. It was not to be. Also, just as a formality, Reba might be injured, so Britt is trying to really push towards maybe getting somebody else, but so far, according to AEW Restricted, I just listened to with Tony Khan, right now, the match stands where it is, and no matter what, we will see Dr. Britt Baker in action going up against Thunder Rosa and Riho, and there's still a singles match waiting to have between Riho and Dr. Britt Baker, too. With that being said, I look at this buy-in, it's got to push somebody forward. Mark, give me your thoughts on this buy-in match. Who you got?
I actually heard the same thing as far as Reba being injured. And then I heard that Britt was supposedly trying to get another partner. And the first thing that popped in my mind is if that is the case and she does go for another partner, the first name that popped in my mind was former Zelina Vega. That was the first person that I thought that she might grab a hold. But when it comes to the overall matchup, I'm probably the hugest Thunder Rosa fan on the planet, so there's no way that I bet against Thunder Rosa. So I think Thunder Rosa and Riho will beat Dr. Britt Baker and TBA / possibly Reba. So
yeah, and again, the underlying story here is Thunder Rosa and Rhea have developed mutual respect of their incredible one-on-one clash. Might I add, Thunder Rosa, one of the top performers in the tournament. We'll give you some more thoughts on our overall VIPs of this tournament, too, a little later in the show, in the After Talk section. But yeah, I feel like Thunder Rosa and Riho, they gotta get the win here so we can keep pushing forward. Thunder Rosa wants the good doctor one-on-one again, and yet to happen in AEW, Riho versus Britt Baker one-on-one, back when Britt Baker called out Riho for not always being here. As Britt Baker does still claim, it is still her division. She's still the face. Is she inevitably going to be the AEW Women's Champion? Maybe our next one. Only time will tell. But I'm definitely going with Thunder Rosa and Rico in this one. And that is just the buy-in. And the buy-in, of course, is just to give people an idea of who you might see and what you can expect from the sport of pro wrestling and from the AEW product. Congratulations to All Elite Wrestling success and Tony Khan's success, too, as a booker / promoter / promotion of the year, according to the Wrestling Observer. Take that as you will, because, again, it was not them. It was the fans that support that platform. And, again, we the fans all care about wrestling at the end of the day. And AEW makes wrestling fun. And that's what it comes down to. Now, with that being said, that was the buy-in, but we are not done by a long shot. And talk about kicking off in a strong way. For the first time in AEW pay-per-view history, on the main card, a pay-per-view match, a championship match kicks off the show. As Tony Khan confirmed, the AEW World Tag Team Championships will kick us off as the Young Bucks defend against Chris Jericho and MJF, and you know Wardlow is going to be in their corner. And this match has taken a very personal turn ever since Jericho and MJF decided to make it personal by attacking one of the Bucks family members, Papa Buck, as we saw a couple of weeks ago. We then saw this past Wednesday a press conference. The beauty of AEW when it comes to these political platforms and how they bring in these special guests and push matches forward is brilliant. We've had guests including Barstool Sports, Conrad Thompson, and Eric B. Guess what the B is, folks? And basically, this led to the Young Bucks being all riled up based on MJF and Jericho's comments to the point that they made it personal and literally burned both MJF and Jericho to the point they said about their father, what values they taught them, and what they did for him. Would be no Young Bucks, would be no AEW. MJF would be trying to get back on the Rosie O'Donnell show. Jericho would be curtain jerking at the Performance Center. Damn! With that being said, I am looking very forward to this match. And we also saw the Good Brothers give the Bucks a little bit of a one-up as the Young Bucks were able to take out Proud and Powerful with reckless abandonment off the stage, off the top of the freaking tunnel tubes, through tables, clashing. I'm pretty sure Proud and Powerful will not be showing up in this match. With that being said, I'll go ahead and pick first here. I look at what might be ahead according to another match we'll talk about. I look at the other stories going around here, and I look at an X factor that triggered MJF and Jericho when they were asked about him. One, Sammy Guevara. Now, whether or not he shows up in this or plays a factor in this externally is yet to be seen. But I still see the Sammy Guevara, MJF, and Jericho storyline continuing with the Young Bucks still as champs. I have the Young Bucks retaining. Mark, your thoughts on this match and your pick.
I think this match right here, to me, is the most easiest match to predict on the card, including the buy-in match we just predicted. I think there's no doubt in my mind that the Young Bucks will definitely win this match. Let me tell you, Jericho and MJF took the Bucks to a point that I don't think they've ever reached before. They took it personal. They went at their family. We all seen what they did to Papa Buck. And I think that not only will Papa Buck get his revenge in the match, I mean, I'm hoping to see him at ringside. It might be, he might throw a punch here and there and get the Bucks to win, but not saying they need that. But I think Papa Buck will ultimately get his revenge. And yeah, this match is easy. I think the Bucks all the way. And like I said, I think MJF and Jericho's relationship is hanging on by a thread here. So I think that might even come into play as far as the outcome. Not only is Papa Buck going to get his possible revenge, but we don't even know if these two are going to get along throughout the whole match. We have no clue because they're saying one thing and we see another thing. So you never know.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like MJF and Jericho is imploding, and we look at MJF. This guy, I think, has his own agenda. He's just waiting to execute it. I think Sammy Guevara was the first step. Hey, Elizabeth, watching you guys while waiting for my hair appointment. And to me, AEW Tag Title match. Don't trust MJF. Expect him to turn on Jericho come Sunday. It very well could happen. We saw what happened at Full Gear following Cody and Jericho. He kicked Cody straight in the jewels, and that started the MJF that everybody knew to begin with, but, of course, was not initially on the AEW product. So, again, we'll have to wait and see. All right. Moving on from there. Oh, freaking Lord. Okay, look. This pay-per-view looks great. They're going to try and surpass what many deemed pay-per-view of the year last year. But this match right here, it needs to give us something memorable. Because as far as what set it up, not really that big of a deal. It is the Best Friends versus the Wedding Band, as Miro and Kip Sabian with Penelope Ford. They take on the duo of Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor since Trent's injured. And this is all stemming back to when Charles Taylor basically turned on Miro when he was the butler, though Miro basically can make a man out of Chuck Taylor. There's a Mulan Disney reference for you, folks. And of course, Orange Cassidy, he's had enough of Miro's shenanigans. I found out we were waiting for a one-on-one. Maybe that's still to come. And ever since Orange Cassidy got the rub from Jericho, Orange Cassidy's kind of been stale, to say the least. So maybe he's whatever. Maybe they will try. I don't see Trent showing up. But something needs to happen in this match. Mark, your thoughts on this match, your expectations, who you got winning?
When it comes to making my prediction on this match, what I look at is Miro specifically. I think he needs to get out of this program as fast as possible. And in my opinion, the only way for that to happen is for Orange Cassidy and Chucky T to win here. I think they need to close the door on this, and I think Miro needs to break off and become the monster we all know he is. So I'm going with the best friends here. I mean, I know, Trent's not here, but I still call them the best friends. Orange Cassidy and Chucky T for the win.
All right, I think that's fair, and I'm going to keep it simple and say I do want Miro to break away, but does he break away in defeat? I mean, we did saw that solo teaser when he was handcuffed and Kip did hit him. We thought Miro was going to explode and hit him. I feel like regardless of result in this match, Miro will crush Kip, and that could be the best thing that could happen, honestly, for Miro, who I want to really see succeed. I honestly thought that by this time we see him involved in the TNT title picture that we'll talk about later. But thinking about how far this might go and the fact Trent is still out and there's still a personal, I feel like, grudge with that match to come too, where I feel Trent and Miro might be visited. Something tells me this isn't going to end, but Miro's going to show us more than he has before. And you have to consider Ford is an external factor in this match. They have the numbers game, and I'm sure Ford is going to come into play. Thinking about that, I actually have Ford and Kip somehow picking up the win. And it wouldn't surprise me if Miro literally does game over 2-1 Chuck Taylor, proving his point that you stay by me, I can make a man out of you. Don't make me do this to you. Let me be your best friend, etc. I feel like they're going to try and push this a little further, which is why I have Team Miro and Kip winning. But I can only hope that this will be game over soon for this team. This is getting ridiculous. All right, moving on from there, let's go into a very interesting match as we have the first ever Casino Tag Team Royale. And folks, do not let this graphic fool you. This is not all the teams in it. Tony Khan said, and I quote, there are 15 teams involved in this. And when you consider how many teams are in AEW, there's at least maybe 3 or 4 to be announced. Teams off the top of my head besides this graphic: Bear Country, Top Flight, Private Party, Butcher and Blade with the bunny, yay Allie, Proud and Powerful, Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, John Sim and Alex Reynolds, both teams representing the Dark Order. And the newly formed team of Pacare Phoenix. You got to consider Varsity Blondes, Natural Nightmares. I'm not sure about TH2. And honestly, who could show up in an impromptu tag team based on what we've seen on Dark as well. It would not be the first time to use talent from Dark for this as well. There's also a unique set of rules for this match too. In this match, the order of entry is selected by lottery. 2 tag teams will start the match, and every 90 seconds, a new team will enter the match. Individual eliminations occur when a competitor is thrown over the top rope and both feet touch the floor. But tag teams are eliminated when both of the competitors of that team have been ruled out of the match. And this match will continue until there's only one competitor or full team remaining in the ring. And the winners will get a shot at the AEW World Tag Team Championships, date to be determined. So there's a lot to think about in this match, considering how much rivalry is going on right now when it comes to the tag team division amongst themselves. FTR Jurassic Express, Exhibit A. You also have to consider who you might think could challenge the tag team champions next. What makes the most sense, a first time or a revisit? And who could show up in this match where Tony Khan said, be aware for surprises throughout this pay-per-view. With that being said, here's how we're going to do this, bro. We're going to pick our winning team, but we're also going to try and guess maybe who could be a surprise team to show up for a bonus point. So that being said, Mark, tag team wrestling has been reborn by AEW. It is the strongest foundation of this company, and I feel it's the strongest tag team division in the world. Your thoughts on this match, your winning team, and what team you think will show up will surprise you. Take it away. Your thoughts on the tag team division.
All right. First off, I want to say I'm extremely excited for this. Okay. From what I've seen on Twitter, Facebook, and everything, the favorite seems to be Pac and Phoenix. But what I'm gonna do is I don't know if I'm going to regret this or not, but I think it's time, man. I want to see the Dark Order, man. I'm going to go with the Dark Horse. Some people say this wouldn't even be a Dark Horse, but I'm going to go with John Silver and Alex Reynolds, the Dark Order, to win the Casino Tag Team ladder match. I just think it's time. I think they need to send them in a new direction. Do something with them. I just think ever since everything that's happened, I think they've kind of been stagnant. I understand why. But I think it's time, regardless of whether it's something with Adam Page or whether it's a new leader or whether it's something. I want to see Dark Order do something. Why not this? Why not let them be the number one contender? Because I think the fans and the AEW Nation, everybody's going to get behind them 100%. And I think it would be a good match. And you would probably think, why would you book face versus possibly face? Because I'm going with the Bucks to retain. Why would you book a face versus face program? Well, I'm saying they're the number one contenders, and I'm saying turn the Dark Order back heel again for this program. The Dark Order is no longer playing any games. It is their time. That's who I'm picking to win.
Wow. Talk about face turn, considering how much John Silver and Page right now is like an impromptu face tag team maybe waiting to happen. Okay, so what is your expectations, though? Like, what sort of tag team do you think could be showing up, considering Tony Khan's The Forbidden Door? Do you see any NJPW or Impact influence or some new hybrid team forming? Who you think could be one of the surprise teams?
I do, actually. And we all heard the rumors of Enzo and Cass. That's not who I'm going with, but that is a possibility. But I'm really thinking, like, why not Finjuice? It seems like they've been in the rotation with this Forbidden Door, and we just recently seen them in another company. And I'm ready to see them what they can do in an AEW ring. Finjuice is one of the best tag teams in the world. Why not see what they can do? But I don't know. Honestly, this is really a true mystery. Like, these two guesses I've thrown out are just kind of like what's on the tip of my tongue. I haven't really put too much thought into it because I really feel it could be somebody like it could be the Good Brothers. We don't know. It could be just the Good Brothers, and it could be a little underwhelming because we've seen the Good Brothers on AEW television here lately. But like I said, I'm gonna just go with Finjuice, man. That will be my prediction for the guess. So
I like it, considering we know Finjuice and the Good Brothers, Young Boys and the Good Brothers working together in Impact Wrestling. They have mutually agreed to an Impact World Tag Team title match this coming Impact Plus special this month, Sacrifice. And stay tuned, folks. I will have predictions and preview on that as well. Maybe with this gentleman, maybe somebody else will see. But I like what you did there. So I think about this. Several of these teams have already had a tag team title opportunity against the Bucks themselves, Proud and Powerful being the most recent. Some of these teams are brand new to AEW and really haven't even had that full-on standalone tag team debut. Bear Country included. Bear Country right now is feuding with my personal favorite and pick to win, Butcher and Blade, and I know the Bunny is going to be involved. Yay, Allie. And I really want to see Butcher and the Blade have a tag team title opportunity because literally that Falls Count Anywhere match was one of my favorite matches last year with the Bucks, and Butcher and Blade have yet to have a tag team title match. But I do think about this new dynamic of Rey Fenix and Pac, because people keep thinking the next team that should take the towels off the Bucks should be the Lucha Brothers. But the Lucha Brothers, they're each doing their own thing. We'll talk about the other one later. Now, I know I gave predictions ahead, of course, with freaking NoDQ, but of course, it was for the go-home. And with all these other moving pieces here, I honestly feel like, because here's the other thing. Pac is one of the best singles wrestlers AEW has, and Pac last year at this time was having a Iron Man match of the year with Kenny Omega. It surprises me that Pac's not more involved in the actual AEW World title picture. Even post-map, that could have been something here, or maybe that's still something to come. And Rey Fenix, I'm surprised he's not involved in the TNT title. I want these two to really have a breakout moment, and I feel, seeing how far this tag team can go, maybe even in a defeat, not saying they will lose, but even in a defeat to the Young Bucks, if they get that title opportunity, I want to see that match. So my pick actually, officially right now, I'm going with Pac and Phoenix. Now, as far as surprises go, it does seem like an obvious choice to say the Good Brothers, because we know if the Good Brothers won that initial tag team battle royale a while back, 7 versus Jericho, we will be having Good Brothers versus Young Bucks at freaking Revolution. But that's not the case. I still think that's a match to come. Maybe they'll push that all the way to Rebellion. Maybe they'll push that all the way to Double or Nothing. Other thoughts included, maybe Motion Machine Guns eventually will show up on AEW. We'll finally get Young Bucks and the Motion Machine Guns revisited, because I'm sure that's a match people are dying to see again under AEW. But I don't see the Motion Machine Guns being involved here now that I think about it. especially since Alex Shelley has been MIA for the longest time in Impact Wrestling. Hence, James Storm and Chris Sabin are a duo. So with that being said, keeping it simple, I believe in Pac and Rey Fénix as my winning pick. And a surprise, I'm just going to go with the safe bet here too, because the Good Brothers just seems like it's an obvious thing for them to be involved in, especially with the world title match, tag team title match opening the show. Just got to say that. What's the Elizabeth got to say here? Sorry, Mark, but don't expect Finjers of Revolution. It'll take more than 24 hours to get to Florida from Japan. Besides, Juice is wrestling Kenta tomorrow. That is true in the New Japan Cup. So much wrestling going on right now. It's ridiculous. And she also agrees that Pac serves a big push. Again, the bastard, so underrated as the Cruiserweight Champion, 205 Live Matter during that time, in the WWE under a former identity. He is unbelievable. But yeah, those are my thoughts. So officially, I'm going with Pac and Rey Fénix, and my surprise, Good Brothers. It seems like the obvious bet. But I will be kicking myself in the back of the head if Moisture Machine Guns do show up, and I just went against my own judgment. Oh, well, you only live once. Okay.
Exactly.
So moving on from there, we go into what really has been that one dark note for this entire AEW product that people are like, make it better, book it better, showcase it better. I think this tournament, which we'll slowly talk about as well, definitely proved they're trying to move the AEW women's division and women's wrestling showcasing in the right direction. As we have, for the first time ever, Joshi Pro Strong Style AEW Women's World Championship match. Over a decade in the making, apparently. Hikaru Shida defends the AEW Women's World Championship against the winner. So damn glad she won. Of the Japanese side and the entire tournament as well, Ryu Mizunami. Now, for those of you who don't know, Ryu Mizunami and Hikaru Shida, their history goes back to 10 years, and I was only aware of 1 year. Ryu, to me, she stuck out to me in that 6-woman tag back at the first ever AEW event, Double or Nothing in 2019. And it turned out since then and beforehand, Ryu Mizunami and Hikaru Shida have had singles matches all go to a draw, whether it's time limit draw or double count-out. Most recently, they had a singles match back in 2019, double 10 count, close to a 15-minute bout. They had a 20-minute draw in 2017, and they had a 15-minute draw in 2019. And the only time Shida ever beat Ryu Mizunami was back in 2015, all through the Wave Pro Wrestling promotion. Now, here's the other thing, too. Shida's matches, the longest match she's had is actually just a little over 17 minutes, and guess who that was against? Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, during the pandemic era. Her second longest match was against Thunder Rosa, back it all out, and the third one was against Nyla Rose, back for the title at Double or Nothing. Her longest AEW match has not peaked 18 minutes. I think this match can absolutely surpass that. And bottom line, there has to be a winner. Why people believe Britt Baker deserves to be the inevitable AEW Women's Champion, guys, you gotta wait and see. And I really hope this is not the last we see of Ryu Mizunami, because apparently AEW, it encouraged Ryu Mizunami to continue wrestling. She was about to retire. And here we are now, Ryu Mizunami and Hikaru Shida in what could literally be a match of the night. Mark, your thoughts on this tournament, its winner, and your thoughts and pick for this match.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off what you just said. Rio was gonna retire. And when she had that match in Double or Nothing, it reignited her fire for professional wrestling as a whole, and she wanted to compete in AEW again. So when she got the call for the tournament, she was more than happy. I'm glad she won it. But this is not her time. She's not staying around on stateside to defend it. Not saying that that's the only way it could be possible, because it can be defended over there if she wants to go back and forth. But I don't see that happening. I think Shida wins this, and I think that they're gonna I think she'll eventually drop it to maybe maybe a Thunder Rosa or a Riho in the future. But I don't think she's gonna win. I don't think she's gonna drop it at Revolution by any means.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I saw the preview video just now on YouTube. The last thing Shida says, I bridged Japan and the world together as champion, and I will continue to keep that connection as champion. The work that Hikaru Shida put in on the Japanese side alone, I can only say arigato to the amazing Joshi Pro Women's Wrestling we got, showcased by the likes of Veni, Maki Ito, Yuka Sagasaki, of course, making her return, Emi Sakura making her return, Rin Kanadora, the legend Aja Khan, and of course, Mai Segura. When you look at this tournament and everything it brought us so much to think about when it comes to women's pro wrestling. And this is my bracket, and I thought Britt was going to win. So I'm glad for the first time in a long time, wrestling wasn't predictable. So it is what it is. But the bottom line is this. I don't see this being the last time Ryo Mizunami and Hikaru Shida lock it up in AEW, let alone outside of it. But right now, Hikaru Shida, she is this longest reigning AEW Women's Champion for a reason. And I see it continuing. There's a bigger match, a bigger moment waiting for the next champion. And again, these two, I'm sure it's going to be a wild match. I don't see a draw, but I think finally Shida's going to get a win again over Ryo Mizunami, despite Ryo saying you can face me 100 times, but you'll never beat me. I think this Sunday, Shida's finally going to prove her wrong. This is going to be an incredible match. Good luck to both. That's all I got to say about that. All right. So moving on from there, let's go into a very unique ladder match where literally you have to grab the brass ring to get that opportunity. I love how they're using that cliche. It is the Face of the Revolution ladder match where the winner will get a shot at the TNT Championship this Wednesday following Revolution. And get this, if the champion is unable to defend the title this Wednesday, he must forfeit it. But the bottom line is this. We have 6 people here, 5 known and 1 surprise waiting to be determined. And so many names have been thrown around. We have Penta Zero M, Lance Archer after the killer main event against Rey Fenix. Man, that was a match. Cody, the inaugural TNT champion, Scorpio Scott, and Max Caster, of all people. But I will admit, Max Caster, not bad. And again, we have 1 unknown. Bottom line, climb the ladder, grab a literal brass ring, you get a TNT title match this Wednesday. So there are many ways I can see this going, considering our current TNT champion is Darby Allin, and he has history with several of these people, including Cody, who passed off the title to him. But there are many ways I could see it to go with Scorpio Sky. He wants that breakout moment. And I think about the Lucha Brothers really going forward, maybe not as a tag team now, but different directions. There you go. As we saw Penta and Rey Fenix literally go one-on-one and nearly destroy each other. And Penta was the better man in that last match. Right now, I feel like I want to see Penta become the next TNT champion. I want to see this match. I want to see him grab that brass ring. I still can't believe they're using that metaphor. I think that's brilliant. But my pick, actually, regardless of who TVA might be, I have Penta Zero M. And again, Zero Fear, ladder match, heel Lance Archer, top of the ladder. I can see that being the closing moment. It's going to be interesting to see how Cody goes up against all these people, because I think the only one Cody has not messed with in the ring, besides Max Caster, is Penta Zero M. So this is going to be interesting. As far as TBA, there are so many names thrown around right now. I don't think it's just going to be some random person on the AEW roster. Could be somebody making a debut. Could be somebody from NJPW. Heck, I thought it could be Rocky Romero. My good friend Cindy G, please follow her podcast into Stratosphere and Adventures in Wrestling. She thinks it might be Ethan Page, who we don't know where he's going to end up or where he might go or where he's gone, considering how many people W picked up from Impact Wrestling. So with that being said, I'm still going to go out on a limb here and hope for NJPW influence, since I know Rocky Romero and Tony Khan have had a talk before. I feel inevitably Rocky Romero could show up in AEW. So I'm going to hold out for that. I'm going to say Rocky Romero is going to be TBA, but my winner is Penta Zero M. Mark, your thoughts on this match, your win, and who you think the surprise is.
Okay, I know I've showed you like 3 or 4 times, and I know I'm rocking the Penta shirt, but you know what? I got to go against Penta this time for my winner here. And for the longest time, I was thinking Scorpio Sky. And then when I seen him on commentary last Wednesday and he had a whole brand new state of mind, I was like, it's definitely him. And then I was thinking about Archer and how he should have got a push months ago, but with everything going on, it's kind of been put on the back burner. Is it finally his time? He's been dominating. But you know what? At the end of the day, and I know this is going to make the internet mad. Who is the face? Who is the face of the Revolution? Honestly, if you had to say right now, in my opinion, against better judgment, maybe it's Cody. It's Cody, and I know everybody probably is sleeping on Cody. And I know if Cody wins, the internet's going to flip out. Oh, he's crowning himself. He's EVP. He's making himself this and that. Cody loves that title, and I think that they finally might do a final stop between, and I know you're probably thinking, why are they going to do this for the 4th and 5th time? Eventually, I think Cody will be involved with the TNT Championship with Darby one more time. Remember when Sting debuted, he told Cody, he said, this isn't the last time I'm going to see you. And Sting is going to roll right out of Team Taz, right in exactly what he said the very first night he was on television. Cody, I'll see you down the line. And he's going to be right behind Darby in the final match between Cody and Darby. So I think to start that, Cody has to win that TNT championship. And that's who I think.
Wow. That is a wild way, but I like that because, yeah, we don't know eventually if Sting and Cody will ever meet in ring action-wise. But you do bring a great point to that drawback promo. And again, Cody passed up the title to Darby Allin. If Darby Allin was to go forward towards the AEW World Championship, given that TNT title back to Cody under the right story and circumstance, I could definitely see AEW trying to pull something off like that. Especially since we know Cody, being a man of integrity, can never challenge for the AEW World title. And to this day, he still stands by that promise. Let's see. Elizabeth says, this ladder match, hard to call. Got Lance winning, but Sensing the Unknown might win. Again, that's the thing, because let's think about this. The Unknown last year at Double or Nothing was the Machine Brian Cage. He won that ladder match. With that being said, Mark, who do you think the Unknown could be here?
I didn't want to spoil my answer because I didn't want to react when you said it, but I'm going with our buddy Cindy. I am going with Ethan Page. He wasn't happy how things ended with Impact, and normally people think about him in a tag team with being in the North, but you know what? I'm a huge Ethan Page fan. I think he's one of the most underrated wrestlers in the world, and I think this is a perfect spot. There was rumors that he was interested in WWE, and I know some rumors were thinking that it was possibly Marty Scurll, but I think those rumors got squashed with him being removed from New Japan Strong. But like at the end of the day, if I had to put one name on the line, I'm going to go with Ethan Page, man. Ethan Page.
I mean, again, Cindy's logic sounds very sound, and I understand where you're coming from. And again, he did express this interest. And of all the people WWE picked up for NXT, Taya Valkyrie, Eli Drake, I am not calling him by his other name, and the Rascals, one name that was not involved in that was All Eagle Ethan Page. And with Josh Alexander, my God, how incredible is Josh Alexander, man. He and Cesaro, take my damn money, okay? Those two right now, one of those needs to become a champion. I see Josh Alexander doing it first because WWE has been sleeping on this guy forever, but I digress. Yeah, Josh Alexander, absolute breakout single star, future X Division champion, maybe future world champion. Ethan Page, let's see what he can do because people do forget ever since their longest running title reign as the North. Ethan Page is a very good, successful, accomplished singles wrestler, and he can own himself in and out of the ring, on the mic, and in with his opponent. I think you and Cindy truly are right, but again, Rocker Mel, that'd be a nice surprise for me. So again, if I miss out on this point, oh well.
Oh, one more thing. I'm sorry. One more thing I wanted to add is I heard somebody suggest this today, and as soon as it hit me, I was like, that's who I'm going to go with. But as the day wore on, I kind of put that one on the back burner and went with Ethan Page. Why not Kenta?
Whoa,
Why not Kenta? Why not Kenta?
Whoa. Wow, I mean, if New Japan is live, it'd be kind of hard for Kenta to travel in between Japan and here within the time allotted. But I guess he's not in action tomorrow, so I guess that could be a possibility. I didn't think about that, but you're right. Kenta did make his AEW debut, so officially he does have a record. And it's a record that's positive because he won that tag match. So that'd be amazing. I absolutely, a holder of the freaking briefcase, grab the brass ring, go ahead, own yourself. You are effing Kenta. I could see that, honestly. That is a good thought. But
and
again,
then imagine
you have to wait and see. Now,
and then imagine he'll be able to take the ring over to New Japan and continue the relationship further. See, it was him bringing the briefcase over to AEW. Now he could possibly take the ring over there, maybe? I don't know, but we'll have to wait and find out.
Well, we've already seen how much English commentary in New Japan acknowledges how much AEW has been involved, as well as Impact when it comes to the NJPW talent, Finn Juice, Kenta, John Moxley, etc. And I'm sure it wasn't for a pandemic, like Tony Khan alluded to, you would get more talent exchanges because that's all it is. Again, I'm still waiting for the day we get Tanahashi or Minoru Suzuki in an AEW ring. Just saying. With that being said, all this talk about surprises, all this talk about who could show up, all this talk about, what's going to come, who's going to be the next big AEW moment. Well, Paul White, newly signed to AEW, he apparently is going to make an announcement regarding AEW's next major signing, which apparently is huge, but it's not who we think. Or is it? How wide is our thinking, or how close-minded are we? Mark, first off, Paul White, huge acquisition for AEW. He's going to be a tremendous asset and value, both in expanding the product teaching and guiding younger talent. And as we learned, he and Tony Schiavone will be coming back together to work for the first time in over 20 years as the commentary duo for the latest product of AEW Dark Elevation, coming Monday nights, 7 p.m. on YouTube. As if YouTube freaking doesn't have enough wrestling content as it is. Oy vey. With that being said, there are so many names people are throwing around. The first one being, of course, CM Punk. Guys, calm down. I don't think it's going to happen. There's Kurt Angle. People have said Batista. And then people have thrown out names as wild as Kurt freaking Angle, who we've seen lately train, and he is looking jacked. I have no idea who is showing up here. But before I say that, Sandy said, already said Kenta's facing Juice tomorrow, but Mark, nice prediction there. Again, Kenta immediately leave, might make it, we'll see. With that being said, I have no idea who could join AEW and no idea who Big Show's talking about. Is it somebody that Big Show knows like super well too? And I highly doubt Big Show is trolling us. Mark, your thoughts on this? What do you think Big Show has in store for us? Who's showing up? Who's newly signed AEW?
I will say, I know CM Punk's went on record saying it's not him. Batista even said that he wished they created another word that other than retired, because he said that people don't take the word retired seriously enough. So you can pretty much check him off. But this is my thing, right? Just say if it was CM Punk, do you think they'd be like, "Oh, you caught me. Yep, it's me." They're not gonna do that regardless. So you know what? At the end of the day, anything can happen. But I'm gonna go with Kurt Angle, man. He just got a new podcast with Conrad. He's back in shape, and I think he can still do it. I mean, if Sting can do it, Angle can do it. And I know he didn't move the best his last WWE run. Some people said he kind of moved in slow motion a little bit. But at the end of the day, just because he's there doesn't mean he has to wrestle. He can do anything. He could be a manager. He could be authority figure. He could be anything. He's got 2 gold medals. He won them with a broken freaking neck. He can do whatever he wants. So I'm just gonna go with Kurt Angle, I guess, man. It could be anybody though.
I feel like right now Kurt Angle seems like the obvious choice, because Kurt Angle, we all saw how heavily involved he was in Impact Wrestling, manager in and out of the ring, one of the longest running champions. Kurt Angle is an Olympic gold medalist. Kurt Angle is one of the best of all time in and out of the ring, world renowned. I think Kurt Angle will be I think Kurt Angle right now is the best name to think about that Big Show's talking about. And Big Show and Kurt Angle have tremendous history with each other. Heck, Kurt Angle once friggin' Angle slammed the Big Show, and people thought that was impossible. All right. So I think about Kurt Angle and what he could bring to the AEW product. Oh, good Lord. Can you imagine the matches he could have, or who he could mentor? Because when it comes to these big names being part of AEW, they are grooming the future, the young and hungry up-and-coming talent. I could see him with, I don't know, maybe someone who just got All Elite. The captain, Sean Dean. Congratulations, by the way, to Sean Dean. He is officially signed to All Elite Wrestling. Well deserved. I would love to see like a new Team Angle dynamic, honestly, with a faction that he leads. Maybe it won't be the greatest tag team because, copyright. But again, when it comes to tag team wrestling, that is the foundation of AEW. It seems like they can't make it big enough. And Kurt Angle, I feel like, could lead the next great tag team. Whether or not it's somebody we already know at AEW or not, that's yet to be determined. But right now, everything feels like, to me, Kurt Angle, that just sounds like a great addition. I can see Kurt Angle going after the TNT title. But again, we're going to have to wait and see. But you talk about these legends, you talk about big names, you talk about surprises. We got to talk about the fact that 61 years old, I'm pretty sure this is not going to be cinematic now. Sting returns to in-ring action after that horrible spot with Seth Rollins. Again, not Seth's fault. It was just the timing. But bottom line, we have a street fight now with Team Taz as Brian Cage and absolute Ricky Starks with Taz. And I'm sure Hook and Hobbs will not be far away. They take on the duel of Sting and Darby Allin. Just this graphic alone, Sting and Darby Allin, what a perfect pairing in a street fight. And we have seen how personal this has gotten to the point that literally Darby Allin abducted. Hook then abducted by Sting. Ricky Starks literally calling out Sting like, you show me something, but you're no longer an icon. And we've seen Sting take a bump and give bumps. Bottom line, this is a personal grudge, as Tony alluded to. It does not coincide with Darby Allin's professional responsibilities as the TNT champion. Case in point, whatever happens in this match, Darby Allin has a TNT title match this coming Wednesday. And that's at the forefront of this no matter what. With that being said, Mark, you're old school, you're WCW. This is Sting's first match on TNT in over 20 years. Your thoughts on this? Take it away.
You know what? I think when Sting had his first match in the other company, they dropped the ball. I don't think they're going to drop the ball in his first match over here. I think Sting and Darby win it. Sting's got so much history with TNT, with coming back, and I just don't think they're going to do him wrong as far as that side of things. Now, when it comes to the storyline, I like Team Taz, but you know what? At first, I wanted to go with them, but because they need something, to be honest, because Sting and Darby's been running them away like some little punks for weeks and weeks in a row here. So I think they need to step up and show how dominant they are, or how dominant they could be. They got Ricky Starks is possibly the future of the AEW. They got the Beast, Brian Cage. They got who else they got? They got, trust me, Team Taz needs to be on another level, and I think that it starts after this match. But I think sometimes you got to hit the bottom to rise back up, and I think they're going to hit bottom here at Revolution, because I think Sting and Darby are definitely going to go with the win here.
Yeah, and I gotta agree with you. First off, the only thing that's for sure about Sting, never mind. The bottom line is this. Sting literally is coming back to us in in-ring action. There's no way I see Sting losing this match. By hook or by crook, it's a street fight. Anything goes. We've already seen, to go with your point, Brian Cage, he has been personified as this machine, this unstoppable, well, somewhat unstoppable, but dangerous force. Taz is the uncensored, unvocal mouthpiece behind all these people who feel like they have a chip on their shoulder, and that's their identity. And then Ricky Starks, absolute future star, future champion. I know right now this pretty much might be founded around him, maybe going after Darby Allin eventually again for the TNT title, because that's really how this all started. But I feel like there's even bigger things in store for Ricky Starks. And the fact we now got Taz's son Hook involved here, being literally taught by Taz, there's another instance dynamic too. For all we know, we might one day see Hook involved in a match on Dark. So there is stuff going on for Team Taz right now, despite the fact people believe Taz needs to find a female counterpart for this group. Legitimately, hers is on the top of people's minds, just saying. But right now, as far as this match goes, this is a fight between Sting and Taz, getting the better of each other verbally, because I think that's what it comes down to with those two. And Sting is literally there to push forward Darby Allin, because Sting sees something very familiar in that little Darby Allin fellow. Because again, Darby Allin, I mean, we've seen it. He sits up there where nobody else is, up in the rafters. He is a guy that is very limited when it comes to speaking. And he is a guy that stands out as his own, as himself. And it reflects with those that support him. And he appreciates that, but he doesn't let that consume him. He doesn't let what he is today define him tomorrow. He is never content. This is a guy I feel that truly will never be happy where he is in wrestling, but he is okay with wrestling his way. So bottom line, Darby Allin and Sting, I see them continuing not only their dynamic, but I see them continuing their winning ways, starting with this match. I have Sting and Darby Allin going over as well. Going back to what Elizabeth said here, previous remarks, someone I followed on Twitter said it could be the Rainmaker, but it may be Kurt Angle. Paul White has to be stumped. He has the whole wrestling community stumped, so you're not alone. And I fear for Sting. Still have that 2015 match between him and Rollins in my mind. That buckle bomb still scares me even today. I understand that, but let's think about this. Brian Cage literally power bombed Sting, and we got a call back to the way he looked up back at WCW, and Sting's still fine. And Sting got revenge. Scorpion, Deathlock, Scorpion, Death Drop, Stinger Splash. Sting still got it, apparently. And again, AEW, I feel like it's going to do everything they can to protect Sting as the safest way possible when it comes to taking a bump, let alone giving it. And I feel like this has some cinema value going towards it, but I feel like it's still going to be more of an all-out wild brawl throughout Daly's place. Regardless, Sting and Darby Allin, the hoodlums will prevail. And that's all I got to say about that. All right, so let's move on to our next match, which literally has big money ramifications. You hear that all the time about matches. Oh, this match is big money. This is a big-time match, blah, blah, blah. Well, AEW literally, once again, has made something so hypothetical a foundation. As Matt Hardy takes on Heyman Page in a big money match where literally the winner will get 100% of the loser's quarter one earnings. Okay, I don't know how much a wrestler makes on average, let alone somebody in AEW, let alone somebody the caliber of Hangman Page and Matt Hardy. But that sounds very detrimental to those men's way of life for the loser. Now, we've seen how this all has developed with Matt Hardy and him and Adam Page. Matt Hardy saying he could offer Heyman support as the Heyman right now. He is trying to figure out himself and maybe where he belongs. While the Dark Order truly offers, it seems, family and support, despite saying, "Oh, hey, man," on BTE, which even Heyman has said himself. We've seen the dynamic of the Dark Order, how much he and John Silver, both as opponents and as tag team partners, work extremely well together. And every time Matt Hardy or somebody's gone up against the Heyman, in this case, somebody from Hardy Enterprises, Dark Order has been there to save him. Now Matt Hardy has a personal vendetta against the Dark Order because apparently he says he's going to hurt the ones that are Heyman's friends and that you love. Case in point, 5 taken out, 10 cost the friggin' TNT title opportunity ladder match. So now it all comes ahead here with so much of the Dark Order involved, including who was now in that graphic 5 and 10 in the tag team Casino Royale. And with the fact, you got Private Party, you got maybe Bubba TH2. I don't know what the state right now is of Angelico is. That's why that match got changed at the last moment. And so far these last few weeks, Heyman has gotten the better match-wise of Hardy Enterprises, taking out both members of Private Party in singles and tag team action, as we saw. To me, this feels like this has been into something bigger. You remember last year, a standout match in AEW, the Stadium Stampede? Well, they said they want to do that as an annual thing. I don't see the Inner Circle and the Elite being a thing this year. I don't necessarily see a Bullet Club Civil War being a thing this year. But based on the numbers, and I'm not just talking about money, and what we're seeing so far and the continued story of the Heyman's rise, I think Stadium Stampede this year is going to be Heyman and the Dark Order versus Matt Hardy Enterprises. And I think he's going to recruit at least 1 or 2 other tag teams before then, too. Regardless, if I want to see that come to fruition, Heyman needs some momentum and Hardy needs a bigger chip on his shoulder and some depth. I'm going with the Heyman winning here. Buckshot Lariat. And I would not be surprised to see Private Party and Dark Order involved in this during or after. Mark, your thoughts on this match and this feud?
Man, you know what? I've listened to about 100 prediction videos. I've looked at what everybody's thought. And you know what? I don't think I've seen anyone go with Big Money Matt. Not even anybody. So because of that, I know everybody's thinking it's going to be fun to see Hangman and the Dark Order spend Matt's money on episodes of BTE for the next 2 or 3 weeks. That's going to be great. But this is the thing. Money can do a lot. Money can buy you some stuff. Now, I know money can't buy love, and some people say money it doesn't make you happy. But you know what? Money can buy you an interference, and money can, and whether it's Private Party or somebody that is going to be entered into, TH2, it could be anybody. I think that something's going to cause Hangman Adam Page to lose this match, man. And and you know what? It seems like every single time I go with Matt Hardy, he burns me. But you know what? You would think that I would learn my lesson on wrestlers that burn me because Yano's burned me enough. But you know what? I'm gonna go with Hardy, man. I swear to you. Remember, when you watch this match on Sunday and Adam Page wins this, just know that I'm gonna be shooting myself through the roof and throwing myself out the window for making this pick. But you know what? I am going with Big Money Matt for my pick.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, there is one other thing I neglect to mention. Matt Hardy is undefeated on AEW pay-per-views. Cinematic and match-wise, he has yet to lose. So
that makes me feel worse. His time's coming. So, man.
Well, nobody remains undefeated, okay? So, again, and the way the story is going right now, I feel that Heyman really needs to move forward in this. And inevitably, I feel like people that I've seen on the community, I feel like they're onto something. I feel like we're ultimately leading towards the rise of the Heyman finally becoming the AEW World Champion. Now, whether or not that's this year, next 2 years, who the hell knows? But we do know one thing. This card is stacked, diverse with so many matches, incredible up-and-coming talent, first-time showcases, all sorts of surprises galore. And might I add, Paul White's surprise is not the 6th man in the ladder match. The new signing is not the 6th man ladder match, so get that out of your heads right now, folks. But regardless of everything that's happening with AEW, Japanese pro wrestling, women's pro wrestling, all this other stuff going on right now, it honestly might literally be too much for some to bear. or it honestly might not be enough. Before I go into my final thought, let's see what's there. This match, can't predict the winner. Thinking double KO right now. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time AEW has had a draw. They've had a draw before, literally, but I think that was like the only, no, they've had a couple of draws, so they're casting Cody. So again, it could happen. Matt Hardy, again, people do not realize how good of a comic wrestler he is because of the extreme spots, and don't get me started on that all-out spot last year. But again, nothing extreme here. It's a wrestling match, so this is going to be good. But you talk about good, you talk about great, you talk about the best. You have to go a step further when you talk about the ultimate in holy shit moments. It doesn't get wilder and bigger than this. Jon Moxley will go after the AEW World Championship. He lost back at Winter is Coming, December 4th. It finally comes ahead, and I think it finally comes to an end as he takes on Kenny Omega with Don Callis in an exploding barbed wire death match. What in the holy hell is going on with professional wrestling here in America in freaking 2021? When you consider the fact the innovator behind this match, effing Atsushi Onita, he hypes this up and literally thinks this is going to be spectacular and very fitting for these two. Oh my God in heaven, Mark. We could talk about this match all night. Hell, we just might. I don't know where to begin, so let's just go ahead and start from the beginning, shall we? I want to first ask you, when you saw Kenny Omega come out the cleaner way, and then he amped his promo from 10 to 11, talk about what he needed to do to give Jon Moxley this match under his circumstances, but also end this thing once for all. Give me your thoughts on when you first initially heard those three words, exploding barbed wire death match.
Oh my God. There's three words right there. When I heard it, I didn't know what it was. And when I heard it, I was like, what is that? Are they having bombs like throughout is it going to be like on the mat? Is it going to be on the ropes? Is it going to be like, I had no idea. I had to look it up. And like, I had never seen an exploding barbed wire death match. I didn't even know there was such a thing, to be honest with you. And you know what? I've said it 1,000 times. When I was at Full Gear, I seen the lights out match. And after that, and even till this minute right now, I still don't know what in the world that two people can do to top that. Like, I can go down the list of all the things they did that night, but
yeah, you were there.
We seen it, but just imagine, like, what on earth, except for somebody possibly, I don't even want to say it, like, without somebody being parallel. I don't know. Like, I'm halfway worried for the both of them, to be honest with you, because at the end of the day, they're putting their two best wrestlers in their company and arguably the world in the most dangerous match I've ever heard of. Not saying it's the most dangerous match, period, because I'm sure I haven't seen everything, but now seeing this, I feel like I have. I feel like I've seen it all now. So I don't know what to think. I can say this, regardless of what match it was, whether it was a crazy match, steel cage match, or wrestling in a cornfield, regardless of who it is, I think Kenny's going to keep this belt regardless. Not this one, because this one's worth $20. I'm talking about the one that's on Kenny's shoulder. Now, I just really think that there's nothing that Mox can do at this point in time to take that belt off there. Kenny has so many probably programs coming up in the future, whether it's with Impact, New Japan, or the crossover, or whether it's a feud with Pac later on down the road, or Hangman coming in his own facing Kenny. I think that regardless of what happens, the stories continue with Kenny having that belt. Mox needs some time off. We all thought he was going to lose to Kenta because of that. We thought he was going to drop the U.S. title because he needed the time off. Now I think it's finally his send off. I think he's gonna beat Kenta, and now he's gonna lose to Omega, but he'll come back strong and he'll come back for his revenge on both of them. But at Revolution, the cleaner's retaining 100%.
I mean, let's look at the way this has gone down. When you figure about the words and you figure about people's expectations, people's fears, people's overall analysis. Jon Moxley basically summed it up 2 weeks in that promo. That was probably his best promo to date. My God, the emotion. He literally said, and I quote, "So the idea of the exploding barbed wire death match, it's too attractive. It pulls me in. You think about fire, blood, burns, torture, agony, vintage Japanese magazines. How do these images make you feel? Disgusted, revolted? Do your palms sweat? Do your hands shake? Or do you get a sick thrill? Jon Moxley simply said, I'm an addict. And literally, he says that you are not the first of a long, sad line of guys to try and take me out. Because how many people have tried to take out freaking Jon Moxley? Just saying. But basically, he said, win, lose, or draw, everybody in that building, everybody watching at home, everybody who's been with Jon Moxley, who's stuck by him through the worst of his career, and boys, he had some down moments, as he even talked about his childhood and how rough that was on Renee Paquette's podcast, Oral Sessions. He literally says, by the end of this, when it's all said and done, win, lose, draw, etc., I will have given you everything that I've had. And if it does come to an end at Revolution, in an exploding barbed wire death match, that feeling I can't get enough of, it seems like a perfect way and a hell of a way to go out. It was almost as if Jon Moxley was literally reading us off his will, his last rites, and literally his homage and love note to professional wrestling. Because that's how much this sport, this craft, this ring, this identity means to him as much as it means for us fans. Jon Moxley takes it up to friggin' 211. With that being said, as you subtly alluded to, and we've seen the promos, and apparently Don Callis and Kenny Omega have been working on something called the Moxley Extermination Chamber. We saw screenshots where if you literally touch the ropes, you're going to see big explosions. We saw Hitoshi Onita talk about what this match can do to you, what to expect. Teared flesh, seared third-degree burns, explosions, graphic violence, and horror. And I'm sure the rest going to be in a bomb suit. And again, like you said, explosives galore. This cannot be a continuation. This cannot be an epilogue of what happened at December. This is the end of Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega for the time being. And again, we all thought Jon Moxley was going to take him in an earlier break at New Japan Strong, and no. Jon Moxley would never stop wrestling. But as far as him going after the AEW World Championship, this Sunday it ends, and I am with you. I believe that Kenny Omega, I don't know how. I don't know if he's going to be awake to see it, let alone embrace it. And I'm pretty sure Don Callis, for his sake, is not going to be anywhere near it. But I think Kenny Omega has to freaking win this match, continue this idea of being a belt collector, the forbidden door being wide open, and bridging wrestling promotions together. Because keep in mind, Jon Moxley did not suggest this idea. Tony Khan did. And Jon Moxley's like, are you serious? Hell yeah, I'll do this. Because Jon Moxley knows when Tony Khan says, hey, what do you think about doing this? Tony Khan goes all in. So for those that have never even heard of or seen an exploding barbed wire death match, I dare you to lock your kids away because your kids will not know how to react and you will not know how to answer them. And I also suggest you go watch those death matches with the innovator himself that hyped this up, Anina Adachi. Apologies if I screwed up that name. I'm so damn excited. People like Terry Funk and Mick Foley and freaking Sabu have been through these matches. This was the foundation of Japanese wrestling back in the freaking late 80s, early 90s. And there's only been probably like maybe 3 or 4 of these in existence. Well, get ready for one that's probably going to top them all. And you're going to be like, I hope I never see this again. Because Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega are literally going to kill each other for your spectacle, folks, and for your opening eyes to how far professional wrestling can go and how far people are willing to go in it. Like you said, Mark, 2 of the best in the world. We're going to find out once for all who truly is the best in the world of pro wrestling, Jon Moxley or Kenny Omega. But I have the cleaner surviving and retaining. Holy hell, I tell you, this pay-per-view card is going to be absolutely incredible. I think it can surpass last year's AEW Revolution, and it will definitely be a real pay-per-view feel. As Tony Khan said, this will be the largest audience to date. 1,300 plus people will be in attendance for this event. And again, there are so many surprises to come. There is absolute unpredictability across this entire card. There are grudges. There are history. We got incredible women's championship matches, personal tag team championship matches. We have an all-out war between the Dark Order and Hardy Enterprises coming to fruition. You have Sting returning to the ring, and then you have this spectacle worth the pay-per-view alone, I would say, if you are a fan of pro wrestling, where you could say for the first time ever, I saw Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley in an exploding barbed wire death match, and I hope it never happens again because I guarantee that's what you'll be saying at the end of it. But bottom line, that's all I got to say about that before we go into the aftershock regarding other stuff this week. Because again, while Revolution is the highlight this week, there are some interesting stuff that has happened throughout this tournament when it comes to showcasing remembrances and first-time appearances also on Dynamite Crossroads. But before I get into all that, Mark, is there any closing thoughts you have regarding Revolution?
No, I'm just really looking forward to it, just like everybody else that's an AEW diehard like I am. Yeah, I don't even know where to begin. I just know that I'm gonna have my pizza ordered, I'm gonna have my feet up, and I'm gonna be ready come Sunday.
That's all I got to say about that. Well, good luck to you, brother. And folks, if you haven't already, come join in my AEW PPV Predictions League. It's the easiest league to join. Literally 4 pay-per-views, and you will not be disappointed. I feel like an AEW product. Come have some fun, challenge your friends, become a wrestling fan if you aren't already, and make somebody who isn't a wrestling fan like you are, make them try and be one too. I feel like AEW can open people's eyes, especially with how much it connects with wrestling, NWA, AAA, OWE, Impact, NJPW, and the list is only going to grow from here. Now, before we get into more about that, let's go ahead and talk about some other stuff that happened this week and what I like to call the AEWSpark Aftershock. Because I tell you, Mark, these last few weeks, if AEW has done one improvement this year, it's their women's wrestling showcase. This tournament gave us some incredible, one-of-a-kind women matches, Japanese side and American side. Thunder Rosa, absolute star already in the making, pushed that division up and beyond. Serena Deeb, unfreaking believable. I hope she gets better too. Unfortunate circumstances have fallen on Anna Jay. She will be out 6-12 months due to a shoulder injury and surgery, but I feel she's going to have the biggest babyface pop ever. And when I think about who really was my ace performers, I don't look at the winners of the tournament or the finals. I look at those who stand out. Personally, for me, I still think, in only 3 years in her career, Ty Conti had her best match in her entire wrestling career against Nyla Rose. You think about the turnaround from her squash 5 minutes against Nyla Rose to literally put us on the edge of our seats thinking she could beat her. And at one point, it looked like she nearly could. Just didn't know what to do in that particular moment. I thought she had her. She was like my breakout to break my bracket, but it wasn't to be. But my God, Ty Conti, she is going to be a mega star, all right? I definitely see her one day challenging for the AEW Women's Championship. And as far as the Japanese side, I know a lot of Japanese pro wrestling. Heck, I watch Stardom, but there are some names here that I've never seen. And while I know everybody loved Maki Ito, I was more thoroughly impressed with Vinny. That girl's got a badass attitude and a hell of an in-ring game, only being less than 5 years in her in-ring career. I thought she nearly could have beat Emi Sakura, and she took it to the champ there in that 6-woman showcase. The bottom line is this. You might not have gotten the winner you wanted from this tournament, but you can't argue that AEW is trying to give you what you want. More women's wrestling, more women's showcasing. And this tournament was an example of that point with the fact we didn't have the obvious winner. And also what happened this past Wednesday, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Mark, give me your thoughts on this tournament. Who was like your MVP, both the America and Japanese side? What is your biggest takeaways from it? You gotta fix this stuff. Let's give him a moment.
All right, I'm sorry.
Okay. Man, this tournament, I tell you. Hold on, folks. He's just fixing his stuff. Okay, let's see here. Well, meanwhile, while he fixes that, allow me to hold on. There we go. Whoop. Well, we've officially lost Mark, so allow me to take a moment to give you a bit of a suggestion. I am not sponsored by nobody. I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of wrestling. So if you want to know more about this content, keep following this simple YouTube channel. I do live content out of nowhere. Primarily, I cover NJPW and AEW. I do some WWE stuff, and I am trying to do some Impact stuff as well. And this is not the first time this has happened, folks. StreamYard sometimes can be a real pain, a real burden, technology, Wi-Fi, etc. If you want more coverage, freedom of opinions and expressions for more of a WWE foundation, might I suggest you go check out the fine columns and people of NoDQ. I've been a member now of Team NoDQ for the last, 4 years, and it's been an awesome run, and I only see it continuing from here. So with that being said, while he continues that, I do want to encourage you to follow NoDQ.com for all the latest updates and live coverage of AEW Revolution. And if you haven't already, check out NoDQ.com's All Elite panel for AEW Revolution, where me, Cindy G, Aaron Riff, and Big Baller Big G, we went through and basically gave our own thoughts and predictions of this card too. So with that being said, it looks like we're going to have to conclude this short. But don't worry, folks. I have more content in store for you. As my friend Mark just said, and I quote, "My phone's at 1%. It's about to die, bro. I'm sorry. Tell the people on the stream what happened. And tell them I said happy anniversary to Spark." Thank you so much, Mark the Griff Reviews. God bless you, bro. It was an extreme awesome pleasure talking AEW Revolution with you. And folks, if you haven't already, please follow this man on Twitter at Mark Griffith Reviews. And again, his hashtag will also be on Team All Elite. I will also have a description down below. Go follow Team All Elite on Facebook if you're a fan of All Elite Wrestling, an open-minded, positive individual too. Let me go ahead and reapply this real quick. Thank you, brother. Certainly will. I hope you had fun. There we go. Just going to send that because, again, I value people's opinions, personalities. Let's see here. And send because I do not like to dilly-dally. And tell them I'll be back to do a review of your Revolution. All right. So stay tuned, folks. Mark will be back with me after Revolution. Some point next week, we will be reviewing the entire preview in full, and we're going to have a lot to take away. With that being said, I hope you all thoroughly enjoyed this anniversary edition of AEWSpark, and I will leave you with just a few of these other Cliff Notes I have to say. The Shag Attack truly impressed me. Jade is definitely going to be a big-time player. Jade and Velvet clash in a hell of a women's bout, and Shaq, I got more respect for basketball now than ever, considering I'm not even a fan. I'm just a fan of wrestling. Mad respect to Shaquille O'Neal and that bump he took. I have a feeling this will not be the last time we see Shaquille O'Neal involved in AEW. And maybe finally, Paul White and Shaq can happen. Just saying. But again, we're just going to have to wait and see. Britt Baker, she is definitely a future AEW Women's Champion. I think my top matches this Dynamite, definitely this year for women's wrestling. Britt and Nyla and Rio and Nyla. Rio Misanami, I hope they have her more often involved in AEW, especially because, again, this is what influenced her to continue wrestling. I hope we see more of her. And that's really the only things I've had to say besides JD Drake, you are awesome on freaking AEW Dark. Love this match with Eddie Kingston. Highly suggest you all go check it out. If you haven't already, check out Kindly Key and Tessa Price. Ohio, Michigan, working together, clashing with each other. It makes a hell of a dynamic. Well, that's all I got to say for now. So I think I will conclude this special anniversary edition of AEWSpark. So for now, folks, thank you for tuning in. And thank you again for your continued support and watching, opinions, and for those that have collabed with me over the past year. It's not leaving anytime soon. I'm going to try and get back to this every week, whether it's just by myself or with somebody. We'll have to wait and see. There might be another Spark this weekend. I'll call it like an aftershock to talk with some other people regarding their thoughts on Revolution, as well as what Mark suggested, as well as what we said, and as well as what else has been happening lately on Dynamite and what has been their biggest takeaway from Dynamite and Dark as well. By the way, Tully Blanchard, JJ Dillon, NWA Vibes. How cool was that? What an old school throwback. And my deepest prayers and condolences to Jim Crockett and his family, the passing of the great Jim Crockett. With that being said, that's all I got to say for now. So thanks for tuning in. You want to know more about me? Know this. I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of wrestling. So follow me on Twitter at nfoster1916. Follow me on Instagram for some positive hello and motivation in your day. And wrestling memorabilia and autographs, where I just got this one, our champion Hikaru Shida, and I'll have some thoughts about that pretty soon as I wait for my next one. You'll find that on Instagram at Foster1916. Keep following the Silver YouTube channel for live, fun wrestling discussions and content every once in a while at youtube.com/C/NoFoster210 for all things wrestling. And shout out, of course, to my ATW family on Twitter for life. With that being said, I might be back later on tonight regarding AEW further discussion, but I will be back also definitely later today to bring you my coverage of today's events from the New Japan Cup as this show has concluded, as well as a preview of what's ahead tonight with Strong Style Evolves Road 2, led by Rocker Merrill Neil Rush, trying to qualify for New Japan Cup USA. I'll also be giving you further updates on the New Japan Cup in Japan as well, as this is continuing into tomorrow, and I will have previews regarding that too. We have Sacrifice next weekend, so stay tuned for some coverage on that. And as Mark alluded to, we definitely will be back to give you our aftershock thoughts once AEW Revolution is fully concluded. And if you haven't already, come and join my simple little predictions league. Let's see who's all elite. Let's see who can own Revolution by the end of the night. As always, I like to close. Folks, there are no winners, there are no losers, there are no betters. There are just fans with own opinions and own identities for this passion. So at the end of the day, respect one another, support each other. Let's not belittle. Let's only raise up together. And let's just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling. Simple as that. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, hit the bell to know this video goes on this channel, and hit the subscribe button. Help me keep growing this channel. Shout out to all my AEW. This will be this fun YouTuber creator's journey. It's not laying up anytime soon. For Mark the Griff reviews, and again, please follow him and follow Team All Elite. I am the simple man. My name is Noah Foster. I hope you all take care, enjoy life. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. Treasure your families and enjoy wrestling. There's more of it now than ever. Find some company, promotion, outlet, something that can connect with you. Make a friend or rivalry out of it too. Friendly, if possible, too. And again, we will get through this pandemic era lifestyle of wrestling together where we can join safely and unmasked together. You just got to keep holding out, stay positive, be safe, be smart, and at the end of the day, be all elite, because it's not just a wrestling thing, it's a mindset. When you literally don't let nothing hold you down and you literally just enjoy what you love and you put your all into it. Hashtag do the work. Thanks again, folks, for tuning in. I appreciate y'all with all my heart. Stay safe, be smart, and thanks for tuning in to the anniversary edition of AEWSpark. Have a nice day.